tonight's Monday Night Raw was the fallout episode after Extreme Rules, but it was also the start of the main buildup for Crown Jewel on Thursday, October 21st. Following their participation in a six-man tag team match last night, Bobby Lashley and Big E each gave separate promos that led to management booking them in a rematch for the WWE Championship that started tonight's show. It was one of two segments advertised for the show on WWE.com, along with Sheamus versus Damian Priest one more time for the United States Heavyweight Championship. Let's take a look at everything that happened on tonight's Monday Night Raw, for this is Ridiculously Raw. Welcome, everybody, to Ridiculously Raw, the most must-see show on YouTube and StreamYard.com. Today, I am your host, Anthony Florio, joined as always by Girl MF Michael Fletcher, the Phenom Michael Bullock, fresh off another one of our legendary Raw chats. And I'm afraid I've got some bad news, folks, before we start. And that is, it looks to me like the First Lady of the Wrestling Forum, Dee Dee Woodson, is going to be taking another leave of absence from this show. I'm not sure what's going on with her, but on behalf of all of us here, Dee Dee, we're thinking of you. We're praying for you all. We love you. We'll miss you. And you take all the time that you need, and you come back when you're ready. We got this. Don't worry. So we're going to dedicate this show to Dee Dee Woodson here tonight. So with that being said, let's dive right on in, gentlemen. Monday Night Raw. Heritage Bank Center, Cincinnati, Ohio, exclusively on the USA Network, and as advertised, they started with it. They actually delivered on it. Big E, Bobby Lashley, WWE Championship on the line. Unfortunately, the fight ends via a no contest and an even 10 minutes. Because, hello, what's this? Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander? The Hurt Business back together? Sure looks like it. But then where they went, the New Day went. Xavier Woods, Kofi Kingston showed up. All hell broke loose. Senior referee Chad Patton threw it out. And then all hell really broke loose afterwards. And then Adam Pearce was not having it. Adam Pearce was like, enough. We're done with this. We're not doing this. Is not going down tonight. What we're going to do is we're going to get the New Day out of here. We're going to get the Hurt Business out of here. And Big E and Bobby Lashley, you will battle it out for the WWE Championship one more time to find out who is the better man. But it's not going to be a regular match. It's going to be held inside of a 15-foot high steel temper cage. So, well, of course it's going to have to be an NA, obviously. But this match embodied the phrase that Big E likes to say, big meaty men slapping meat. Lashley and Big E came to fight and kept their feud strong with a competitive match. The dirty finish was negated by Adam Pearce, booking them in a cage match for later in the show. But the best part about all of this is the reunion, the apparent reunion of the Hurt Business. When MVP is back from injury and the group is at full strength, I believe they will reign supreme over Raw once again. And this whole segment helped get the show off to a good start by getting the crowd pumped. So it's obviously going to be an NA. But MF, looks like the Hurt Business is back together. And if this is true, oh boy, we're in big trouble.
The thing is that this is the timing of it is very interesting because what are we going to get? Because could this just been a one-off? Because remember, Friday night is draft night. So was this a one-off? Was this a one-time thing? What is going to happen? Because that it doesn't necessarily mean that the rivalry could continue. Because remember, everybody's up for grabs in the draft. So could that just been a one-time foreshadowing thing. I don't know. All I know is that it's going to be an interesting matchup. It was a heck of a fight. This was amazing. And the thing was, at the end of it, we were a little disappointed with the ending, but we do get a payoff. They're going to go again. There's another battle. There's another fight in a cage later tonight. So it kind of was like, oh, man, no, why? But then once Adam Pearce came out and said, oh, no. Don't worry. We got you guys. We got you. We're gonna do this. We're gonna run this baby back again later in the evening, but we're gonna give you guys something even better in a cage for the title. Adam Pearce, thank you. Finally, WWE does something smart. You give us something. You whet our appetite, and they did this brilliantly. You knew they weren't going to give you the end result at the end of the night because you can't do that. Besides, you're fighting Monday Night Football. You're fighting the Eagles and the Cowboys. So you knew you needed something, a hook for later in the night. So what's the hook? Give you a fight now, start it out, and then, a little bit of a clunky finish. All right, we'll give you that. NA, automatic. We're no arguments on this one. But they said, we're going to go one more time. We're going to give you a fight. You want to do this again? Later tonight, title on the line, in a cage. Everybody wins on this situation. Hurt Business is back together. That's a scary proposition for Monday Night Raw. Could be a scary proposition if they end up on SmackDown. So I'm a little leery about this. If the Hurt Business shows up on Team Blue, ooh, I don't know. I don't know if I want these guys on my show now. I don't know.
I mean the bloodline. MF, the bloodline's bad enough, but adding those guys to it, you guys are in major trouble.
That could be dude. That could be nuclear war. That's a nuclear warhead coming on Team Blue, and I don't know. That could be danger. That could be bad news. So we'll see. A lot of things can happen between now and Friday. Because remember, Friday's the start of the draft. Monday's the second part. And you know they're not going to pull the whole roster. We know it. They split the roster half and half. So there's going to be a pool on one night. There's a pool on night two. We just got to see who's in what pool. Who's available to be drafted. That's going to be the very interesting part. That's going to be where all this will break out. But we'll see. But yeah, NA for the start. But man, this could have been all kinds of good. But hey, at least we get a payoff for later in the evening. Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, it's basically going to have to be an NA, but yeah, we do get the payoff with a steel cage match for later on in the night. So, yeah, I mean, the Hurt Business being back together, that could be a scary proposition for either Raw or SmackDown. We'll see where each of these guys end up come draft night, but this match was really good. But then, like you said, with everything that was going on the outside, that caused the referee to throw the fight out. But we got the payoff with the steel cage match for later on tonight. So there's really nothing more to say. Florio, it's yours.
And unfortunately, I got to be honest with you, this was a middle of the road show, and why I say that is because, unfortunately, for the first time in a long time, the unnecessary filler took over. And we started it off with a singles match. Eric of the Viking Raiders versus Angel Garza. Angel Garza wins the match, 2 minutes and 5 seconds. And as we talked about it, they have most quietly turned Humberto Carrillo heel. And I think that this could actually do wonders for him. I really do, because he was stuck in the gutter for a long time. And who knows, maybe him and Garza, maybe that could work. I don't know. We'll see. But this was about a 1-star effort. I mean, it was too quick to be memorable, but the action we got was quite good. Eric has excellent strikes. Garza showed some surprising power to get him into position for his wing clipper finisher. A tag match between these two is probably coming soon, but we might get Ivar versus Carrillo before that happens. And then after the draft, these two teams might not be on the same show anymore. So could be a very short-lived feud. I don't know. We'll see. So, but I would probably give that about a 1-star effort for that. And then the 24/7 silliness comes into play. Reggie versus Ricochet. This had potential to be something actually halfway decent. But then we get a no contest in the 24/7 title match. Oh Lord, I didn't think they could stoop any lower, but they did. It ends in a no contest, 1 minute and 25 seconds. NA, but man, the rating for this debacle should have been, I should probably even go lower than an NA, but the few moves we did see looked so good. It's hard to be too harsh. Ricochet and Reggie both put their high flying skills on display, but it was way too short. If they were given 5 or 10 minutes or 5 to 10 minutes, they would have put on an unforgettable show. They really would have. So we're going to throw that out, obviously. And then Akira Tozawa. I'm like, what's going on? What the hell is this nonsense? And then Akira Tozawa's out there running his mouth. He says he wants to fight. Open mouth, insert foot. Because, well, Akira Tozawa had to deal with a new look Keith Lee. Keith Bearcat Lee. And Keith Bearcat Lee deliciously squashes Akira Tozawa in 35 seconds. You want to talk about a delicious squash, gentlemen? Oh, that may have been the most delicious squash I've ever seen. Oh my goodness, that was, ooh. Obviously, it's a dud. Obviously, it's the worst fight of the night. It barely qualifies as a match. Lee literally hit 3 moves and got the pin. As great as it is to see the Bearcat / Limitless one back on Raw, there are better ways to use his talents. But now we're going to get into this. United States Heavyweight Championship, Damian Priest versus Sheamus. No disqualifications, no countouts, pinfall or submission only. Winner of the match, 15 minutes, 55 seconds, and still the United States Heavyweight Champion, Damian Priest. MF, this was a Michael Fletcher be a man fight if there ever was one. Oh my, what a match.
Yeah, this is definitely one of the top fights of the evening. There's no doubt about that. Hell of a match, hell of a battle. 3.5 stars for me. Maybe this should be the end now. That's the death nail. There's no reason why Damian Priest needs to fight another battle or, with Sheamus. It's over now, boys. There is nothing more for him to prove. Now you move on to new talent. This is where the draft will come into play. Hopefully, and I know Monday Night Raw is praying to the gods that they get really good talent coming from the SmackDown side to challenge Damian Priest, or maybe the Archer of Infamy could be wearing Team Blue on Friday or next Monday. And we could be bringing the United States Heavyweight title to the Blue brand, because if I remember correctly, wasn't the United States title originally on SmackDown when this all began?
I can help you out with that, MF. Yes, you would be correct on that.
Then why not?
It was the summer of 2003. Stephanie McMahon, she was the one who brought it back.
So then why not bring the Archer of Infamy, bring the U.S. title where it truly belongs, home with SmackDown? Yes, unfortunately, that probably means we're going to have to say goodbye to Shinsuke Nakamura and Rick Boogs and say goodbye to the Intercontinental title. But to bring the U.S. title, bring one of my boys my boy, to bring him off to SmackDown. I think that would be a great pickup for Team Blue.
Certainly.
He would be a perfect fit for Team Blue. But again, just like Monday Night Raw, they probably will want to keep him. And of course, they want to build that around to give a big opportunity for him to build him up the ladder. This was a 3.5-star fight. This was fight of the night. This was one of the fight of the nights. Amazing, amazing match. And there's really nothing more to add. Mike Bullock is yours.
Yeah, this was definitely a 3.5-star match. I mean, what a match this was. I mean, we saw a lot of weapons being used in this match, but yeah, I'm with you, Fletch. This is where the rivalry needs to end. Both Sheamus and Damian Priest need to move on to bigger and better things. And who knows where Damian Priest will be come once the draft is over. I mean, it'll be interesting to see what kind of a rivalry will he develop this time around. So we'll wait and see starting Friday night. So nothing more to say, Florio. It is yours.
A lot of great points made by you guys. No doubt about that. And one of the fights of the night, absolutely 3.5 to 3.75 of a star. Just 24 hours removed from their fantastic triple threat with Jeff Hardy, Sheamus and Damian Priest pulled off another great performance in this no DQ, no count out match. The kendo stick shots were stiff, the bumps were ugly, and the punches looked real. It was, as good old JR would say, a slobber knocker in every sense of the word. Priest has been an outstanding United States heavyweight champion, but everybody needs to give Sheamus his flowers too. The man has been one of the most consistent performers in the entire company in 2021. So it would be tough to lose Damian Priest to SmackDown, but I mean, I think that's a very realistic possibility. I mean, but if that were to happen, that would mean the United States Heavyweight Championship would go to SmackDown, and in all likelihood, that would bring the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship back to Monday Night Raw, where that originated during the original brand extension as well. And well, it started on SmackDown, but then they brought it. It ended up going back to Raw thanks to RVD when he beat Chris Benoit at SummerSlam 02 in a fantastic match. And yeah, I mean, I certainly would not mind having Shinsuke Nakamura on Raw as long as they push him better. So, but they're doing a great thing with him right now. He's the king, and he's also got the belt with him. I mean, the big question is, would Rick Boogs come with him? Would that be a package deal? I don't know. Because you never know. They may split them up. They may send Nakamura to Raw, and they could end up keeping Boogs on SmackDown to be on his own. I don't know. We'll see. So a lot of questions, so little time. So we'll see. But 3.5, 3.75, definitely one of the fights of the night, without a doubt. All right, back to the cutouts. 6-man tag team match: Jinder Mahal, Veer, and Shanky against Jeff Hardy, Mustafa Ali, and Mansoor. Look at this. Jinder Mahal, Veer, and Shanky actually win the match 3 minutes and 45 seconds. Quick, somewhat uneventful 6-man tag, but it's hard to ignore how good Veer looked when he decimated Mustafa Ali to score the win. WWE has been putting more effort into the Raw tag team division in recent weeks, and it's starting to pay off. We have a couple of different storylines that have nothing to do with the tag titles, so it is somewhat of a step in the right direction. Karrion Kross against Jackson Riker. Karrion Kross wins the match 1 minute and 35 seconds. Slightly better than the squash we saw with Lee and Tozawa, but not by much. It had less than a dozen moves between them before the finish. Kross has upped his intensity, but is still missing something without his new fiancée, Scarlett, by his side. Yes, they got engaged just recently. Let's hope she shows up soon. But we're definitely going to get, now we finally have something relevant to get into. The phenomenal AJ Styles one-on-one with Riddle. Winner of the match, 12 minutes and 35 seconds. The phenomenal AJ Styles. He wins the match. Michael Bullock, we definitely had a lot to say during this match. And And I told you, it doesn't matter who you are, not even Riddle could kick out of that devastating Styles clash. So Michael Bullock, Styles wins 12 minutes, 35 seconds. Bullock, are you there?
Oh, I just forgot to unmute my mic.
Okay. All right. Styles and Riddle. Styles wins 12 minutes, 35 seconds.
Yeah, like I said, this was a solid match here. I'll give it about 3.25 to 3.5 here. I mean, these two always seem to put on a really good match when these two are in the same ring. But yeah, no matter how good you are, there ain't no way you're kicking out of that Styles clash. So yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see what's next for these two, especially once the draft comes and goes. So yeah, there's really nothing more to say. Florio, it is yours.
Yeah, definitely another situation where a lot of questions need to be answered. Could AJ and Omos get split up? I mean, imagine if MF and SmackDown get Omos. I mean, that would be something. Or, and I know MF would be very happy if the Phenomenal One ends up going back to Team Blue, where he made himself a household name, ended up being the frontline soldier of SmackDown for a good 2 to 3 years. I know MF would not mind that at all. But I'm sure he wouldn't mind having Omos either, and I'd like to get his thoughts on that in just a moment. But think about that for a minute, MF, while I give you my thoughts on this. I'm right there with Bullock, 3.25, 3.5 stars. Fast-paced, energetic match that allowed both men to use most of the moves in their repertoires. Styles looked especially on point with some of his offense. It's clear WWE wants Styles and Omos to keep going after the Raw tag titles, which is not a bad option right now. But there are other teams in the division who could spice things up by being included. Riddle can be, annoying, on the mic and all that, but he can go in the ring. He kept up with one of the best workers in the industry and looked very good doing it. Another one of the fights of the night, 3.25, 3.5 stars. MF, I mean, I don't think they're going to split up Orton and Riddle because they're the tag team champions, but possibility of Styles and Omos. I mean, how would you feel about either AJ going back to the show where he became a household name, or how would you feel if you end up getting the big man, Omos?
I mean, right now, I would say, yeah, I would definitely love to get AJ back. I mean, he had some of his best moments in WWE was on SmackDown as the WWE champion, fighting for with the battles that he had for a number of years with Nakamura, with some other guys on the SmackDown roster. And I know for a fact that Fox was not happy that we lost AJ all those years ago. And I know they've been pining to get him back, even though I know there's been a little bit of, everybody knows about the story about AJ and Paul Heyman, about that there was some bitterness between AJ and Paul Heyman because AJ kind of felt like it was Heyman's fault that the Good Brothers, Gallows and Anderson, basically left WWE and that they couldn't save them. And AJ harbored a lot of ill will towards Paul Heyman for that. And that's why they actually sent them to Monday Night Raw while Heyman was doing his thing, being the advocate for the tribal chief for Roman Reigns. They had to split the two up. So how's that going to look? How's that going to be? I don't know. As far as Omos goes, the guy's a freak of nature. I mean, you see how monstrous and awesome he is. Is it time for them to pull the ripcord and send him on his own? I mean, if he goes to SmackDown and keeps AJ behind, I don't know what's going to happen to him. All I know is that if Omos comes to SmackDown, I will gladly welcome him to the Blue brand. Just as much as I would love to see AJ come home. And I really mean it. If AJ Styles ends up coming to SmackDown on Friday night or on Monday night, whenever this thing goes down, Yeah, if I hear AJ's coming home to SmackDown, you might be hearing some screaming, some yelling, and some whooping coming from East Providence, Rhode Island, Florio. You know where that's coming from.
I'll hear it. Trust me. And I'm sure you'll be, bouncing like Tigger that same night where you damn near knocked over my Christmas tree. I haven't forgotten that either.
Well, so nothing more to say. So yeah, it's all yours.
In case you're all wondering, Survivor Series 2005, I had MF over my house. I had MF over my house for that weekend. We spent the weekend together. I had MF. He came, I believe, on Friday or Saturday night, and we ended up enjoying the Survivor Series of 2005 at my house at the time. And, he was rooting for SmackDown. I was rooting for Raw like we are now. And it dates all the way back to that. And when Team SmackDown won that Survivor Series match, especially with Randy Orton getting the fall, MF was bouncing around my house. He damn near knocked over my Christmas tree. That's how excited he was for that win. So, and I know he'll do the same thing, even though there's no Christmas tree. It's too early for that. We're 3 months away from that. But I'm sure if there was one, he'd probably damn near knock it over. But, I know, because I know that's how excited MF can get. So, but all kidding aside, let's move on. Charlotte Flair. Now, Charlotte Flair, they promoted this as Charlotte Flair, an open challenge. Unfortunately, we didn't really get that moment where, Charlotte would come out and say, okay, I'll make you an open challenge. Whoever wants it, come on out. Well, actually, they did a backstage segment, Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville, and it was Doudrop who answered the call. And Doudrop challenged Charlotte Flair for the Raw Women's Championship. This did not last long. Winner of the match, 1 minute and 50 seconds, and still the Raw Women's Champion, Charlotte Flair. Give the assist to Eva Marie on that one. Eva Marie costing Doudrop the match. It actually started out with promise. Charlotte was selling for Doudrop and making her look like a dangerous competitor, but Eva Marie's interference cut things short. If they had been allowed to have a real match with no shenanigans, it could have been a career-making night for Doudrop. Oh, well, maybe next time. But then afterwards, they go to a commercial, and then after the break, Eva Marie was still in the ring. Eva was running her mouth. Another open mouth insert foot moment as Shayna Baszler came out. And, well, let's just say Shayna Baszler did the same thing to Eva Marie that she did to Nia Jax a week ago. And we all remember, I know my ears are still ringing from that horror movie like scream that Nia Jax let out. And Eva Marie, maybe not as ear ringing as Nia's, but she let it out as well. And yeah, it's clear they're building Shayna Baszler up as a monster badass. What was that, MF?
She's back. The dangerous, the nightmare.
This is NXT Shayna.
This is the NXT Shayna Baszler. This is
about damn time.
This is the worst nightmare for all of the Raw women. I'll bet you anything now, the Raw women are praying to God that SmackDown grabs Shayna Baszler and brings her over. Because if this is the Shayna Baszler you get on Monday nights, I don't care who the hell you are on Team Red. This will be your worst nightmare because it looks like they're building Baszler back up to being the NXT Baszler, the killer Baszler.
Yeah, the Shayna Baszler who dominated NXT and who I still consider to this day the most dominant NXT Women's Champion of all time, even better than Asuka. And that's saying a lot. So, but anyways, MF is absolutely right on that. And whether she stays on Raw or ends up going to SmackDown, I mean, oh boy, may God have mercy on the women's division of either Team Red or Team Blue come next week. So, not much more to say. And then they had Bill Goldberg, and he had a message for Bobby Lashley. Hold on, excuse me for 1 second. All right. Yeah, it looks like they're gonna do Goldberg and Bobby Lashley, and it very likely could be in Saudi Arabia. I don't know, but there's definitely a clash on the horizon. So we'll hold on a minute. We'll keep an eye on that. No question about it. So but now, gentlemen, I do believe it is time for the main event. Steel cage match, WWE Championship, Big E, Bobby Lashley, winner of the match in 16 and a half minutes, 16 minutes and 30 seconds, and still the WWE Champion, Big E, wins it with a super big ending from the second rope. This to me was the fight of the night here. I'm going to give it a solid 4 stars. This match was awesome. And that came just 2 hours after they already had one of the best matches on the card. Big E and Bobby Lashley were made to be rivals. The use of the New Day and the Hurt Business was kept to a minimum and added to the drama of the situation. They were gone by the time the show returned from commercial. They might not be on the same brand after the draft. So if this is their final encounter, they made the most of it. So that's really all there is to say on this. Solid 4 stars. This was the fight of the night for me. So not much more to say. MF, Big E, Lashley. Wow, what a great cage match.
You know what? Totally agree with everything you just said. 4 stars is my rating for the match. It exactly needed it to be what it needed it to be. We needed an ultimate payoff. Earlier in the night, we had a tease of a match for the title, and we needed a payoff at that. And what a payoff we got by this outcome, this battle, this fight, whatever you want to say it. This was awesome in my mind. Yeah, there's really nothing more to say. So, you absolutely said everything about it, Anthony. So, Mike Bullock, I give it to you.
Yeah, this was definitely the fight of the night. 4 stars. I mean, what can you say? I mean, Biggie and Bobby Lashley were made for this, and this was everything we expected it to be, especially in a steel cage. And they left it all on the line. They did keep the Hurt Business and New Day to a minimum here, so yeah, nice win for Big E. But guys, you're forgetting something. After the match, Drew McIntyre comes out with that sword and points at Big E, says he wants the WWE Championship.
That's right.
But here's one problem: the draft. I mean, will Drew McIntyre still be on Raw for him to get that opportunity? If he is, I'm definitely all for it. Even though I did hear rumors about possibly Drew McIntyre maybe getting drafted to SmackDown, but we'll have to wait and see come Friday night and I can only imagine how Fletch would feel if he gets Drew McIntyre. That'd be big for his brand.
I will say this. I actually have an idea. Because I don't know if the draft becomes official. I think it would have to take a week for it to kick. But maybe Big E versus McIntyre. Now you could do one of 2 ways. This Friday night on SmackDown on Fox, or 1 week from tonight on Monday Night Raw, and have them fight for the WWE title. So there's 2 opportunities you got here. You
Three.
could go
3. What about Saudi Arabia? Is there a chance for that?
I think that's a reach.
I think that's a reach. I honestly think that's a reach, Anthony. I don't.
Fair enough.
Maybe Saudi Arabia, but that might be a little too far out. I don't think they can hold off. I don't think they can hold that match in Saudi Arabia. I mean, it'd be awesome, but I don't know. I don't know if the WWE Universe would want a match like that. I mean, oh boy, that's tough. I mean, I would love to see it. I don't know if the Saudi fans deserve that fight. They're getting Roman versus Brock. They're getting possibly Goldberg versus Bobby Lashley.
And the finals of the King of the Ring and Queen of the Ring tournament.
Yeah. So you're already getting enough on that show. I don't know if they should do Biggie versus Drew for the title.
Just a thought.
In Saudi Arabia. I mean, it's a good idea. I'm not gonna poo-poo that. I just don't know if they should do that match there. I mean, I could see SmackDown this Friday night, Monday Night Raw a week from tonight, because I think they would want to do it around the draft premise. If they do it in Saudi Arabia, that'd be an interesting matchup. That would be an eyebrow raise for me to do that match there. But I don't know. I'm on the fence about it. I'm on the fence about the Saudi Arabia. I would prefer them to put the title on the line in U.S. soil, not over there. Sorry, just me personally.
Yeah, great points there. So, yeah, there's really nothing more to say. Florio, it's yours.
All right, and now we'll get into our overall thoughts on this show tonight. MF, this week's Raw had some ups and downs, but the two matches that bookended the show made it worth watching and made it passable for the most part.
I would probably say a 7 out of 10. I mean, it was a passable show. I definitely will give it a 7. I thought it was all right. I thought it was solid. I thought it was decent. I thought it was okay. Body of work was excellent by everybody involved. At the end of the day, I thought they booked the show really, really well, and I thought the right person won. So no, at the end of the night, it was a solid show. There was a few good moments, like you said, but there was a couple of missed opportunities. The Doudrop versus Charlotte Flair was a major missed opportunity. I really felt like they could have made Doudrop into a star tonight, but they got her caught into the Eva Marie mess. But it looks like Eva got taken out. She might be gone for a while, which I know, honestly, a lot of people will not shed any tears of sorrow seeing that baby girl leave for a little while because of Shayna Baszler. Like I said, Shayna's now into that killer mode, which is, good luck, Raw or SmackDown. If Shayna Baszler shows up on your roster. So we'll see. But yeah, no, this was fine. So 7 out of 10. Bullock, go.
Yeah, 7 out of 10 for me as well. I mean, you had some good matches, but again, you also had some not so good matches as well. So I thought it was good enough for it to be a passable show. So, Florio, it's yours.
Yeah, 7 out of 10. I mean, four good matches. If you press for time, the main event, obviously in the cage, Damian Priest and Sheamus, second best fight of the night, rounding out the top 3, Riddle and AJ Styles. Definitely go out of your way to see those matches. Even the opening with Big E and Lashley, definitely check that out. And I think you could pretty much skip everything else. I mean, everything else was pretty much cutouts and unnecessary filler and all that. MF talked about, the missed opportunity with Doudrop and Charlotte. I can't believe I'm saying this, but that 24/7 championship with Reggie and Ricochet, I think that was a missed opportunity because of the way those two can move. those two could have had a fun little sprint, as we would say. I mean, we already know what Ricochet can do, but Reggie, after getting under our skin and annoying the hell out of us, especially me, for the longest time, when he was working with Carmella and getting involved with all that. I mean, ever since they broke him from Nia, I mean, he can go. I mean, that could have been a fun little, almost X Division like spot fest if they had let those two go. So, I think that's another missed opportunity. But anyways, I'm right there with you guys. 7 out of 10. Like I said, it had its ups and downs, because we, this was in a sense, somewhat of a, as I would say, back to reality show. I mean, because we've been putting together some very good shows, some quality shows over the last few weeks. But unfortunately, it wasn't a resounding 7 out of 10 because, there were a lot of cutouts, but, those quality matches definitely saved it. So that's really all we can say on this. So with that, let's get into my Tony's take here real quick. We got, how we do it. For anybody who may be new to this, Impact Wrestling. It's Impact Wrestling 205 Live, and we started off with Impact Wrestling, the fallout from the Victory Road special that went down on Impact Plus. This was on Access TV as usual, Skyway Studios, Nashville, Tennessee, and we started it off with. Let me just find my notes here real quick. Okay. It was, we had an in-ring segment. Scott D'Amore, Scott D'Amore, he is the boss of Impact Wrestling, the authority figure. And he brings out Josh Alexander. And Josh Alexander, MF and I, we briefly got into this last week, but it was made official. Josh Alexander cashed in the X Division Championship, option C, if you will. So it is now official. Josh Alexander will challenge Christian Cage for the Impact World Heavyweight Championship at Bound for Glory, Saturday night, October 23rd. A special start time for that show. That show is going to start at 10 p.m. Eastern time, if you can believe that. So we will most certainly be burning the midnight oil on that show. So we're going to have to figure something out with the NFL show for that week. We'll have to figure something out. But because we don't want to miss this show because of all those Forbidden Doors opening on that show supposedly. But anyways, a great opening segment to start things off. Then we had Hikuleo of the Bullet Club with Chris Bay squaring off against David Finlay with Juice Robinson. And David Finlay wins it 2 stars. And it was a 2-star match. So I'll just say it like that. Intergender match, Rohit Raju one-on-one with Chelsea Green. Of course, her fiance, Matt Cardona, by her side. Rohit Raju wins the match. That was a 1.5-star match. Rich Swann and Willie Mack against Brian Myers and VSK. Swann and Mack win the match, 2-star match. Few awkwardly timed spots, but VSK held his own in there with the bigger names. For Rohit and Chelsea, there was some obvious miscommunications issues between Rohit and Green, and I'm not all excited about Raj Singh returning as he hit squad. Finlay won. It was a competent post-match. Hikuleo attacks Finlay, and we got a brawl between all 4 men. So that's all there is to say on that. Mickie James comes out and she calls out Deonna Purrazzo, and Scott D'Amore makes it official. At Bound for Glory, Deonna Purrazzo will defend the Impact Knockouts Championship against Hardcore Country herself, Mickie James. And I know that's a match that good old MF Michael Fletcher is going to have a major vested interest in. I mean, because of his longtime love affair with Mickie James. And, man, that's going to be something else. Deonna Purrazzo, Mickie James. That's got potential to be a show stealer right there. It really does. So, main event of the evening, Ace Austin versus Josh Alexander Josh Alexander wins the match, 3 stars, solid match. Ace and Alexander work well together. And then we had a crazy post-match. And then we had the return of an Impact Wrestling original. We're talking since day one when it was NWA TNA, one of the major cornerstones of that brand. We saw him in AEW as part of SCU. No, I'm not talking about Frankie Kazarian. I'm talking about the fallen angel himself, Christopher Daniels, back in Impact Wrestling. Whoa. Business has just picked up on Impact Wrestling with the fallen angel back in play. Oh, boy. So that's definitely something to keep an eye on. 6.5 to 7 out of 10 showing all the necessary seeds for Bound for Glory. Mostly held by a few of the matches having timing issues and being a setup show. The return of Christopher Daniels was a fun little touch, and I fully expect Alexander and Christian to steal the damn show at Bound for Glory. So 6.5 to 7 is my rating for this. No doubt about that. Let's see. Just give me a moment here, and I'll set the table for what we can expect on this week's edition of Impact Wrestling. I know they've announced some things, and okay. And here we go. We will have Christopher Daniels. Christopher Daniels is going to wrestle his first match at an Impact ring in many years. He's going to square off against Madman Fulton. Jordan Grace and Rachel Ellering versus Madison Rayne and Tennille Dashwood. The winners will challenge Rosemary and Havoc for the Knockouts Tag Team Championship at the next Impact Plus special. And it's going to be an all knockout show. Knockouts Knockdown. And that's going to go down on Saturday night, October the 9th on Impact Plus. Grace and Ellering versus Rayne and Dashwood. Winning team will face Decay, Rosemary, and Havoc for the Knockouts tag titles at that show. There's going to be a series of triple threat matches. Because as you know, Josh Alexander, he vacated the X Division Championship because of Option C. So we're going to have a series of triple threat matches. The first one will feature the Laredo Kid, Trey Miguel, and a young man named Alex Zane. And whoever wins will qualify for the triple threat match for the vacant X Division Championship at Bound for Glory. And the main event of this show on Thursday night, W. Morrissey versus Eddie Edwards in a street fight. So lots to look forward to come Thursday night on Impact Wrestling. So check that out Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, with an encore at 11 over on Access TV. Or if you don't have it, watch it on demand on YouTube via the that Impact Wrestling Insider deal that they have. $1 a month, 99 cents. That's all. So now let's get into 205 Live. And we started it off with Zion Quinn squaring off against Oni Lorcan. Zion Quinn in 3 minutes and 15 seconds. NA for this. Quinn has a good look, shows some good intensity. Lorcan is a pro and should be used in this manner as he can make guys look good. Still weird to squash the CW on their own show, but we are beyond that being unique. That was a squash. Malik Blade versus Ikemen Jiro. Jiro wins 5 minutes and 25 seconds. Solid match with the right man getting the win. Blade looks good, and I want to see more of him, but Jiro needs to be positioned as a challenger to Roderick Strong in the Cruiserweight Championship. 2.25 stars. And a new thing on 205 Live, women's matches. And we had another women's match here, and this was the main event. Cora Jade versus Ember Moon. Ember Moon, 6 minutes and 59 seconds. Solid. I enjoyed the early mat work. Looked like they may give Jade the upset win before Ember put her away. It was fine. 2 stars. 6 out of 10. I know I sound like a broken record, but I don't care. The 3-match format does not usually produce a good show, as we get 3 short matches where nothing gets a chance to kick into higher gear. It's what happened here. We got 2 decent matches and a squash, and that seems to be the formula they want to use. So it is what it is with this show now. So 6 out of 10 for that. So So that will put the ball on this edition of Ridiculously Raw. I want to thank you all so very much for tuning in. And just like we did last week, we're gonna do the same thing we did last week once again this week, because I have special commitments on Saturdays. So we will be doing College Football Tuesday once again tomorrow night, Week 5. So many exciting games to go down, but the two big headliners, Arkansas versus Georgia, and Cincinnati versus Notre Dame. Those are the two big ones, but there are some other good ones as well. So we're going to get into all that tomorrow night at 10:30, right back here on the Tone 25. Wednesday Night Mayhem MF. We'll have that. Brace Fair 95. NXT 2.0, AEW Dynamite. We'll get into all that. Thursday, another NFL Thursday show. And we will go very much in depth on the most anticipated NFL game in recent memory, regular season-wise. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the New England Patriots. Tom Brady returning to Foxborough. I know we're going to have a lot to say on that, especially Michael Bullock. Should he be on the show? I know he'll have a lot to say about it. The hype's already begun, and that's all there is to say on that. We got some other tasty matchups to get into on Thursday night for that. And then Friday night, we will return with the Cerebral Smack Talk Friday night, because AEW Rampage is back to being a 1-hour show. So we will get into Friday Night SmackDown, and we'll also get into AEW Rampage, and then we'll take it from there. And then we'll come right back here next week. Oh, and of course, that's on that Cerebral Smack Talk show. Of course, night 1 of the WWE Draft. I know we're gonna have a lot to say about that, and we'll definitely have as much more to say on that come night 2 next week. So when we come back here. So all right, so that'll do it. So until tomorrow night for our second special College Football Tuesday edition of College Football Thursday. Anthony Florio here for good old MF Michael Fletcher, and in spirit, the phenom Michael Bullock, especially the Twisted Angel Didi Woodson. Our thoughts and prayers are with her. We love you, we miss you, and we hope we'll see you back here soon. Do what you need to do, get it done, and hopefully we'll have you back here soon. And then of course, always and forever, the Yankee Messiah 401, Derek Forever. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah. Throw it up, Fortune 4 style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed Tuesday. And until tomorrow night for College Football Tuesday, you've been watching Ridiculously Raw right here on the Tone 25 on YouTube and StreamYard.com. And remember, our dear friends, no matter what anyone tells you, beyond anything else, wrestling is indeed actually real. For everybody who's been a part of this one, for now, I think Floyo so long. Bye, everybody. Bye.